Hello, hello. Harry, yo, yo, yo. What up? How are you doing? Okay, so yesterday I was trying to make the syntax highlighting work through the LSP, and I couldn't figure out the LSP stuff. I did figure it out off stream though, so we don't need to worry about it anymore. The syntax highlighting for the cast is working on the LSP. So here's some code in cast. So yeah, it is detected as cast, and it has been syntax highlighted, and this works through the LSP, through the language server. So I was looking at the crate, not crate. What do they call it in the OCaml world? They call them packages, OPAM packages, right? So I was trying the LSP package, but the LSP package is poorly documented and doesn't have any examples. And then the other one, which I was looking at, but like didn't try on stream for some reason, that one actually has an example. So I went ahead and I did it, and it just works, and it's easy, relatively. So here's my LSP. It depends on it depends on the thing, which is called Linol. That's the library for the LSP, basically. Need job coder. Hello, hello. This is the library for making the LSPs. There is also Linol LWT. I don't know what LWT is. I'm assuming it's something like Tokyo from Rust. So like it's a runtime in OCaml for shit. LWT OCaml. I don't know. There is a it's a concurrent programming library, right? So it's like a Tokyo, I'm assuming. And then there's this, and then there is also EIO or Camel, whatever that is, effects based direct style IO, like yeah, I don't know. This one is effect based, the other one is not effect based. Maybe I should have tried this one. But anyway, there is like two backends. EIO replaces existing concurrency libraries such as LWT, but they can be used together. All right, so like there's two backends, AIO and LWT, that I could choose. I just chose a random one, LWT, and I don't know which one is better because I never tried either of those. This one says that it replaces LWT, so maybe this one is better. But yeah. Anyway, so like that's like under the hood, and then it also wraps the LSP crate itself, and then gives me the nicer interface. It also uses OCaml object-oriented features. So the LSP is actually like it's a server, which is an object which inherits the server, which is from this library. So we do normal object-oriented programming where we override certain methods. So I override a method which so this method, for example, on initialization, the language server needs to tell what are the capabilities of the language server. So since I did the highlighting, I needed to do the semantic tokens provider that we have it, and that these are my tokens and these are my token modifiers or whatever. and then on semantic tokens, which is not implemented in the library directly, but they have me. Yeah, I don't know, like it's a little weird. They don't handle it themselves, but there are types for it. But anyway, it all works, and we have the syntax highlighter now for cast. What we don't have is the formatter. If we have both the highlighting and the formatter, then it's going to feel like a programming language, even although this is a rewrite and we don't actually have a language here. We didn't even start doing the interpreter or compiler, but it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, there's this that I did off stream. I spent some time on it. All right. So we need a formatter, basically. So I think we start similarly to how I did the highlighter. So we have this highlight command line utility, basically. And I guess we need to do similarly cast format, cast FMT maybe, for the file, which will format this thing instead. Right? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So so we have the LSP, and I will also want to have the FMT. Cast FMT. This one depends on STD, so this does not need the language server. The language server is going to be depending on that though. Default syntax for now, yes. Something like that is what I need. And the cast binary is going to depend on the cast FMT. And then in the cast binary, in the CLI, we're going to say that we have command fmt of cast fmt.args. Cast fmt 5 args path string option, something like that. Why is cast fmt not found? No config for cast. Oh, June build, right. Right. We always need to run the June build in the background. Okay. And if I have the clear command fmt args, then I need to say cast fmt run args like this. So we need to have a function run, which is args into unit. Like this, and we just fail to do this. Open std, open cast, whatever. Okay. So now if I say cast fmt, this is going to say not implemented. Wait, where is it not implemented? Oh, this one not implemented. Right. So now we have the fmt or format, I guess. I think this should be synonyms, right? Args, then say fmt, cast fmt parse args. And then we have parse, which is a string list into args, right? So I just say that it's a function. It's an empty one, and its path is none. And if it is a path, then it is a path. And if it is a first and rest, then fail unexpected arg first. Okay. Now we have this to do here. Now we have this to do here. And now we need to actually do the formatting. All right, how the formatting is going to work though? So the problem is that the language is extensible, right? So if the language is extensible, then basically the user can define their own syntax. These are the rules that I'm using right now for parsing. Wait, why is it detected as Haskell? That's not Haskell. So yeah, we say that this is how I define syntax, right? And how would I format that stuff is the question then, right? That is the question. So for example, we have an if then else, right? How is it usually being formatted? So we like in OCaml, it's basically saying that if this fits on the line, then we do it. Otherwise, we split it. So in OCaml, there is this library for formatting that I'm using. They have the concept of boxes. So I'm assuming that we can make everything like this to be a box, actually. I need to have some, you know what? How about I have this. I want to have a test, right? I want to print something. I want to print something, right? Let's say this. Hello. A camel print f. But like there is the thing. This is a no-op delimiter for conversion specification. You can argument and output this. The types and their meanings are those. Okay, this is the formatting thing. In order to format string argument to its type digest. The argument must have the same type as internal format string fmt. Optional flags are this. Like there is this thing which is which they call it breaks. Not specified here though. The documentation is weird a little bit. If I have module format, then inside of the module format they have breaks, break hints, right? So the space, simple break hints are space, output a space, or split a line if appropriate, cut, split the line if appropriate. No, the notion of space and line splitting are abstract and for the pretty printing, since those notions can be completely redefined by the programmer. However, in the pretty printer default settings, output a space simply means printing a space character. Put out a pomming, hello, hello. Split the line means the new line character. pp print. So like, but is there an alternative for this? Yeah, there is, right? I need a... Yeah, so like, let's take a look at this. Right, they say custom break is useful if you want to change which visible non-whitespace characters are printed in case of break and non-break, right? So we can do this as follows. This is a vertical, so this over here starts a box. It's a vertical box, so that's everything is vertical here with a 0 offset, and then we say that so we output the opening bracket. These OCaml things are comparable to incantations while summoning Cthulhu. Yeah. Well, I mean, there is regexes. I think regexes are worse than this. You know, and they are widely accepted. Yeah, so we have like at semicolon. Yeah, regexy. This is easier in my opinion than regexes. A little bit. Just like the documentation for it is difficult to find a little bit because it's all over the place. So I think a semicolon at semicolon. We have printf, right? At semicolon. It's not documented here. You can do this as follows, right? Where, oh wait, pp print custom breaks. Oh wait, never mind. Wait, but what does at semicolon mean? At semicolon 02. Is semicolon a custom break? Okay, yeah, there we go. It is over here in fprintf. So this is opening a pretty printing box, close the most recently box, output a cut break hint. So yeah, at comma means that there will be a cut, which means that we are going to have a new line. If it doesn't fit on a single line, a space outputs a space or cuts the line. This is a full break hint with print break, which is like, yeah. A dot, flush the 3D printer, and split the line. At n, print the following item as if it was of length n. Open semantic tag, close semantic tag, question mark, flush. Slash n, force a new line. Okay. We should prefer using break hints inside of a vertical printing box. Okay, so here's the thing, right? If I say hello world, so over here, instead of saying space, we just do at space, right? And what this means, right? So this prints just hello world. Why did it print this on 2 lines? Because println, I have specified this to use a vertical box. So it's always splitting the cuts vertically. But we probably can override this by starting a new thing, which is a horizontal box like this. So this, in this case, I'm assuming it's not, yeah, it's not going to. So if I have we have a vertical box inside of, and inside of that we have the horizontal box, and then there's the HV box, which means that it's going to be horizontal as soon as it fits, but if it doesn't fit the line, then it's going to be vertical. So let's say that we have a hello, and then world, and then world, and then world, like 20 times, right? So in this case, it is still all on the single line. All right, maybe it's not enough. Let's do more. What about now? Yeah, so now it is vertical, and now, as you can see, every single word is vertical. Yeah. So the thing that they are doing here basically is HV box means it is going to be horizontal if the entire thing fits in a single line, and if not the entire thing, then every break is going to be a break, right? And then there is the HOV box also, which means that it's just going to try to put as much stuff on a single line as possible. Yeah, there we go. It puts as much stuff as in one line as possible and then does this, right? So we want to probably just use this functionality for the printing. I'm assuming. Tommy Luco, hello, hello. So I think this should be good enough. We have boxes like this, and the boxes that there are. Pretty printing box type is one of, so it's a horizontal box, a vertical box, HV box, B or HOV. What is B though? B stands for horizontal or vertical printing box demonstrating indentation. And HV is a horizontal vertical which does not demonstrate indentation. I don't understand the difference. Let's try making this a B. It's the same thing. So if you're done making a programming language, you're going to make your own Wayland compositor, right? Probably not a Wayland compositor. Probably we are going to create a new protocol, which is not Wayland, because Wayland is trash. We need to have a new one, which is better. Right? Okay. All right. Yeah, so I just think that I need to have a way to print the AST, right? So similarly to the highlight over here. It's probably going to be the same. So we have path, then I try to read the path. What does read mean? Read is right now specified over here somewhere, probably in the common. Yeah, read. Do you need to specify lines that should indent for bbox? I have no idea. I never used that before. Specify lines that should indent for bbox. I know that like the custom breaks, they like have they can have the indentation indent. Yeah, for instance, HOV2 means open a horizontal or vertical printing box with indentation 2. Hold on a second. Read path. I need to move this into library if I make the formatter in the library. It's fine. I'm just going to only do it with files for now. So let me for now just copy paste that over here. Read path source channel is yeah. I just say instead some path or none. Yes. We have std in or path. Yeah, sure. Yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah. That path is match path with none or some dash, then none, and some path, then some path. This. All right. Yeah, there we go. That works. So now we can read the path. We have the lexer, printer, AST, parse with lexer. Wait, why don't I just parse here? Parse the source with this, right? I don't need the lexer. Oh, wait, I need because of the end of file token. Yeah, but in this case, I don't need the end of file token anymore. Yeah. And maybe I could have it in the parse result, in fact. We would just do this. Yeah. We have AST and trailing comments. Call it Newland instead of Wayland, Newland. All right, so we have the AST basically, right? And now I need to format like, you know, we just need to print the AST. You know, that's what we need. You ditch NixOS, by the way. What do you go into? Back to Arch, back to Windows, back to Macs, Ubuntu, Gentoo. Okay, what do? I just say print. I just say print AST. Right. Out format out std formatter. There you go. Print AST. So we have the function print AST. It's a function from formatter to AST, and then it just prints. Yeah, like only, yeah, we match AST because it might not be there. If it is AST, then we print it. If it's none, then we don't do anything. There we go. So we have a formatter and we need to print the AST. So let's do this. I'm going to match. It's going to be function fmt AST into match fmt into function. So no, not function. fmt AST, right? We have a match AST dot the auto completion here is completely wrong. It was shape, right? Simple AST and one thing, and then complex AST, then the other thing. All right, there we go. Gentoo is Nix plus Nix is great. I don't know. What's the problem with Nix? Why don't you just use Nix? Arch with Nix would also be great, I guess. I don't know. As far as I understand, like, why would I use Gentoo and not Arch though? Gentoo is too much compiling manually, no? Hello, Nigel. You can use binaries in Gentoo 2 nowadays. Nice. All right, do I have simple AST, which has tokens. Token. Okay. So I just print the token here. Let's just ignore the comments for now. So this is going to be comments before and token. Some people praising CachyOS. I remember looking at it once, but I don't remember wanting to try it. What is it about CachyOS? Is it the Docker? No, it's based on Arch Linux. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. If blazing fast, stability, like what exactly is the thing? Like, I don't know, why would I use anything that is based on Arch instead of using the Arch itself? Because it's like pre-configured for you? I tried Manjaro once and I don't know, I didn't have a nice experience with it. Okay, I'm trying to do the formatting here, by the way, of my programming language, and I did off stream. I made off stream the language server to work to make me syntax highlighting in my VS Code here of my programming language, and we also can do comments like this. Yeah, and it will work. We can do like this. I can just print code and it just highlights for me now. Yo. You know? So now we want the formatter. Okay, I'm going to ignore the comments for now. The token is going to be just printed here, I think. We do fprintf, fmt, %s, token raw. Token. Lexer token raw token get. Like this. Token value. Okay. Yeah, let's just do this. So this is me just printing the AST. So if I do try it now, it will not print anything. Okay, that makes sense because we have the complex thing on the end. So so now it means that the complex AST, it shouldn't only have the name. We should actually have the rule here. We should actually have the rule here stored directly. So that I can reconstruct it. Yeah, we can reconstruct it because like how do I format? In order to format, I need to know the original rule like this, right? For an if. I mean, I technically have all of the parts, so I can print them, but the question is, where do we want to have the breaks? I think we always want to have the breaks in between everything. I think we might want to have the breaks in between of everything. The entire thing is going to be some sort of a box, and then that sort of a box probably needs to be defined. Like like when defining the rules, we also define the formatting rule for it or something. Potentially, as far as I understand, I remember Lean. I remember Lean has the custom notation, right? Defining new syntax. Typed syntax. Where is the documentation for it? I'm always struggling to find it. Notations and macros. Defining new syntax. No. Notations. Example. Like, look at this over here, right? So they have a keyword ignore, and then they have the space after it. And that space means something for the formatter, basically. So maybe we can do something similar to that. So what does this mean exactly? Right? That we need to print a space after this thing, which is like a break, potentially a line break. I don't know. Maybe we will have these breaks like as something like this. So basically, if it's like a keyword which contains only white space, then it means that. I mean, yeah. So there is always a break, but not always a space in between the things, I think, right? Let's do it this simple way for now, though. Let's do it the simple way for now, because I have this AST complex. I have the parts, right? I have the parts here already. So let's just print the parts, you know. I will just say parts into list iterate function. So the part is AST part, which is either a comment, right? Or it is the keyword, or it is a value, right? A keyword in this case will be just a spend token. So we will do this thing where I just print the token like that. And if we have a value, then we will yeah, if we have a value, then I will just this is the AST, so we just print it recursively. So we just print AST FMT value like this. Okay, so this is going to look completely yeah, it just spits everything into a single line like this, which is wrong. So let's do this thing where for every part we match part with this, but then after I do that, we will also say fprintf fmt at space. So like, let's say that we have space after each part, right? Like this. Okay, so now we have spaces in between everything. Nice. Nice. Why is everything in its own line though? Wait, hold on. Why is everything in its own line? Print AST format std formatter. How about I do say like print ln %a like this. That's the same stuff. Okay, yeah. So now we have a vertical box, and we have, yeah. Okay, why is there sometimes 2 spaces though? I understand why. I understand why, because like after the end, I don't need this, in fact. Can we have iterate? Do I have white space in the syntax tree? No, not yet. Maybe later I will add it. I did add comments to the syntax tree though, so that the highlighting works. But for the formatter, I don't need the white space in the syntax tree, right? Or I mean, what you're saying is maybe if I added the white space to the syntax tree, then instead of printing it directly, we construct a new syntax tree with the new white space, right? And then we print that. Maybe. Okay, how do I iterate and enumerate in... Is there a thing, list enumerate? No. Maybe I do this later then. Maybe I do first. Maybe I do this first and then do that. So this is a space before, not after now. But I only do this if it is the first one. Let first be false, be true. And I say that if first, then we print the space, and we say that first is false. Okay, maybe that's the easiest way to do it. I hate the fact that I do the in instead of a semicolon. No, if first, then first is false. Else print. There we go. Okay, so now every token basically is on its own line as a result, right? But we want potentially to have a custom box for every complex thing. So I think what I do is like something like format open open, let's just open the Hov box. pp open Hov box fmt0, and then we, in the end, we just do format pp close box fmt. You don't have white space, you lose the ability to keep empty lines user wrote. No, I don't lose it because I have the span information. That's how I'm doing the format, the highlighting. So I know the span of the previous token, I know the span of the next token. So I just put the white space from the end of the previous token to the start of the new token, because I have the span information. I know how many lines are there in between. Okay. So we have this. But sometimes we want the verticality. Sometimes we want the verticality, right? So and this depends kind of on this thing. Let's just have for now something custom. So we have name, right? And I'm going to match on the name. So if it is whatever, then we do open the Hov box, right? Let's just have. Yeah. Let's do that actually. Yeah, exactly. We do that. So if the name is then I want to format open vbox fmt0. Okay. pp. Okay. So yeah. That's right. Okay, but this is not right, actually, because I don't want the semicolon to be on its own one, right? So how do we want to format this thing, which is this syntax, right? We have a first expression, semicolon, the second expression, right? So I want a new line to only be after the semicolon, right? That's what I want. I want to have a new line after the semicolon. So it basically means that this thing needs to be a horizontal box, and then the entire thing needs to be a Hov box, right? It's a little weird. I feel like I need in these rules to have like these box parts myself for the formatter, you know. So like if we just use the same as the OCaml, then it will be like at open the horizontal box, and then over here we say at close the box, and then in the beginning we say open the vertical box. So like this one is always vertical, and then in the end we close it. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Or is this too much? So like basically when you are specifying the syntax, you also specify the formatting rules for it. But maybe we can do something simpler. I don't think we need to do it exactly as in OCaml, but I think like we can do it like this, for example. So this is this is its own box, this is its own box, but then the box can be vertical, and this box is horizontal. Yeah, this box is vertical, this box is horizontal, right? Something like this will make sense. Maybe, but this means that I need to parse it too inside of the rule itself, and it means also that the AST needs to refer to the syntax not by the name, I mean, we can have it by the name, but yeah. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Let's actually do this. Let me try. Maybe it's not that bad. So the parser can parse the syntax rules, right? Rule and rule can be parsed over here. So we collect the parts. So now we have a new part of the rule, right? We have a new part of the rule. It's going to be a part which is the you know, open box, and of string, which is like box type. Box type is string, you know, and then we have the close box. Similarly to the formatting of the OCaml. Okay. So keywords is just saying the keywords. Okay. Collect children. Collect children. It's just taking the values. Which means that I'm ignoring keywords. I'm ignoring open box. And I'm ignoring close box. Okay. In this place. Update value filter. On we just moved this around, and this should be just underscore, because I only care about the values. Okay, this edge. Okay, now the edge is potentially like not here, because I need to match parts with, yeah, I'm just inserting this stuff, which means that I'm going to ignore this open box or close box should be unreachable with a smiley face. But basically I say if I see the open box or close box here, and then we have the rest, then I will just insert with ref parts is the rest, and the node is the same, right? So I just go recursive, skipping the first thing. Okay, and then this also should be unreachable, because I have filtered it out already. Okay. So everything should still work. No, now we cannot parse the simple default syntax rule set, right? So now parse parsing the rule over here. We have the collect parts. So if the token value is so now we have the punctuation, which is the opening bracket. Then we do advance of the lexer, and then I need to lexer next, which is going to be the next token. And this next token must be yeah, this is just going to be yeah, I'm just going to match token raw of the token And it must be let. So this is going to be the box type, you know, and then I will return some open box type like this, right? So if this is v, then it's v, you know, box type. Maybe it will not be a string later. If it's h, then it's going to be h. If it's hv, then it's going to be hv. If it's hov, then it's going to be hov. Okay, let's just try this. And if underscore, then I will say that error other unrecognized box type there, right? Lexer advance. No, hold on. I don't need to advance. I already used the next here. This is just an optional one. Something like this. So this is how I open the box. The closing box is much simpler. We just see the closing bracket, and then I just say that I advance the Lexer, and then I just say some close box. Okay. Default rule set is still not parsed properly. Hold on. Why is this still not parsed properly? Let's try using spaces here, just in case it's a problem. No. How do we make sure that the exception, you know, we have parser error. Have something like this. Let this is print exception register printer. Register printer is a function that registers a function as an exception printer. The printer should return none or raise an exception if it does not know how to convert the past exception. And some s with resulting string if it convert the past exception. Yeah. Can I have like, this is for unhandled exceptions, right? So it's a function which if it is an error f, then I'm just going to say like exit 1, I guess. Pattern matching is non-exhaustive, yeah. And if it's any other exception, then we just re-raise it. Is that correct? Pattern should return none or raise an exception. Okay, or we can just return none, right? Yeah. In this case, I just exit. I don't know, like, or should I return a string? Because what I want is I want to say eprintln error, parse error, f. I don't know if there's a better way to do that. If I just call a function, maybe there's another like percent thing, which just calls the function from the formatter into unit. Maybe. Okay, parse error expected and the file got a right thing at rule column 37. So like this thing. This right arrow was not expected. Everything else was figured out. Oh, I understand now. I understand. Because this is the right associativity. Yeah, which I expect to be attached to the thing. Which is a little bit weird. I'm just going to say this then. For now. Okay. So we have parsed that, right? And now in the formatter, I'm not going to have this matcher at all, right? We are going to instead try to see the rule set. So we have the rule set, right? We have the rule set. But it's not always like there is the thing, but we'll fix that later. For now, I'm just using that. I have the rule set. This is parser rule set. Print AST rule set, I guess. So rule set should be the first argument. So we have the rule set, FMT, IST. So now I can try to find the rule itself. So rule is rules, parser rule set, find rule of this name in the rule set. And since I have the rule, I need to, yeah, we need to have like a print, we need to like print rule or something. You know what? Let's do this. Let print AST is this. Let rec print AST. AST is this in print AST. I'm just going to capture this so that print AST recursively is just printing the value here like that. So AST is ASTT. There you go. And then we also have the print rule. So print rule is going to be the printing the parts of the thing, right? Yeah, so like rule parts is going to be of type parser rule part list, and then the actual parts is going to be it's going to be AST part list, right? Like this. So I'm going to print the rule. It's going to be rule parts, and then I'm going to print the parts like this. Yes. That's going to be done a little bit differently here. So we're going to match rule parts and parts with. So if the rule part is keyword and the part is also keyword, right? Keyword. Then we just print the keyword. I'll just write this from scratch, it's fine. So this is a parser rule keyword, right? It belongs to the variant. Oh, yeah, hold on. It's because we need this followed by the rest, right? The parent should not be at least literal. No, hold on. We have keyword with rest rule parts, and then keyword followed by the rest of the parts, like this, right? So now after printing the keyword, we must continue and print the rule with the rest of the rule parts and the rest of the parts, like this. Okay, now we have a value followed by the rest of the rule parts and the value, which is the rest of the parts. We're going to print the rest. And by the way, the simplest one is if we have an empty list and an empty list, and we just do nothing. Okay. Unreachable. So we have keyword, value, or we have an open close box, in which case we just ignore the value, kind of, right? Rest parts. Rest rule parts. Over here, if I have a value, right, I just need to print AST value first. Okay, and then if we have an open box type, with the rest of rule parts, and anything, then we say format open box, and this is where I match the box type, right? Because apparently, yeah, we'll make it typed. We'll see. Format open pp and open vbox, let open box be this in. So I'm just going to call open box fmt0 for now, and then we potentially also have like the indentation inside, right? And then I print rule, print rule, rest rule parts, and parts. This reachable. Okay, with v, hv, h, and hog. Oh, open each box doesn't have the thing. Yeah. So this is going to be like function underscore into function into this. Wait, or is it not? Like I need to give it a function that takes this integer. Oh, we just do the unit instead, right? Yeah, it's like fmt. This is like indentation. So just fmt and unit like this. Yeah, so then we open the box, fmt 0 for now, and then we do the same thing, but with the close box, right? But for the close box, we just say format pp close box fmt, and then we do the rest. Unit. There we go. Okay, let's see if it works. It doesn't. Beautiful. It does not. Because I never print the breaks. Okay, so now the question is, when do I print a break? In between the parts, right? In between the parts, we always need a break, a potential break. A potential break, and a break, we for now are going to use the space always, but yeah, but it's not going to be always a space. Print rule is, I'm going to name it print parts. All that. So print parts, and if is it the first one or not, you know? So print parts, first is true. You know, so over here, over here, over here, over here, this is going to be first is false. But if I open a box and if I close a box, then the first should be retained as the original one, right? Because I didn't actually print a value yet, so I don't need a space yet. Yes. Okay. So then I basically say, since I have a part that I need to print, right? Print AST or print a keyword. In any of these cases, I need to say that print, you know, print cut. Say print cut, for example, for now, here and here before the values, where print cut is basically if first, then nothing. Otherwise, it's going to be format pp print space empty. So like, so this means that I'm printing a space in between the parts. A print space is going to automatically break the line too. Okay, I think it's yeah, this looks actually pretty good. This looks good so far. This looks good so far. We just need to annotate the other rules, I feel like. Default rules. Okay, so let's see this over here. If I have the semicolon like this needs to be this needs to be a always horizontal one, right? I want the semicolon to be right after the thing. A horizontal like this. Okay, if we say use, like I feel like I always need a box of some sort, right? This one can also be horizontal, I think. If we have an if then else, this one should be a horizontal or vertical. So if it fits on a line, then it will, but otherwise we do this. Maybe. Yeah, maybe it's either HOV or HOV, I guess. No, let's do HV. Let's not use HOV, maybe. This one, we make... Okay, so for this one, for example, it's going to be similar to the semicolon, right? But I want, I think, this to be on a new line. So we wrap this thing into like a horizontal box, and the outer box is going to be the HV box. Okay. Apply is going to be apply is going to be a box with HV, right? Okay, and then we also need to specify where we want the indentation. This is just splitting the lines. This is just splitting the lines. This one also is going to be like HV, I guess. Yeah, but like, but this one, for example, should be indented inside, right? So if only if we have yeah, see, this is formatted like almost very nicely formatted, actually, right? Yeah, this is very nicely formatted. Cast highlight. Can we do this? There we go. Format and highlight. Okay. Yeah. There's like too much spaces for now, but I'm going to fix this later, maybe. How do we do indentation? Let's have another example. Example KS. Let's have some code which has ifs, you know? If true, then you know, then print true, else print false, right? Like something like this, for example, is what I want to be formatted. Let's see how does this format example. Okay, yeah, so like the entire if then else was printed on a single line because it fits, right? Because it fits. Let's say that it doesn't fit by printing some more things here. Printing true 10 times, right? So now it actually split it, but it didn't. Yeah, but the condition itself is there, right? Yeah. Okay, and then we also need to figure out the indentation. Okay, so when I open a box, this over here says indentation. So I feel like open box should have indentation inside. But indentation is just a boolean, I think. If it's true or false. And then I say if do indentate, then 2, else 0. I think something like this is what I want. So now I need to figure out whether we need to have the indentation here. Not indent, indentation. Indent, right? That's the word. So indent is a boolean. And when I'm parsing a rule, whether the box should be indented or not, I think so like I think before the box type, I could have another token which is like indentation will be indent, you know, is going to be basically let me just do peek here. Now let's do next. But over here, indent. Now let's do box type. That. But indent is going to be kind of similar. Where I just peek the token, and then I match the raw token. No, I match. Just match this. Just the incorrect type. This must be a boolean. Yeah. By default, we just say false. But if I see the token, which is the more than, this means that we need to do the indentation. True. And before that, I'm going to advanced Lexer. Okay. Yeah, let's try that. IO error? What is that? What do you mean IO error? Source parser ML, no such file or directory. What is this file then that I'm in right now? Dune build. Okay. I don't know what happened there. Yes. Maybe format should automatically highlight if I'm outputting to the std out. Okay, so now inside of the rules, I think I should be able to say the indentation here. You know. So for example, indentation. It actually is very, very difficult to do the formatting like this. I feel like, you know, because like I don't want, like, since I have parentheses inside of the then case, I actually don't want to indent this, right? So I think this actually should always be the horizontal box. What if can I have a horizontal and inside of this a vertical box like this? What is this going to look like? Yeah, you know, like it makes the vertical box being over here, which is not correct, right? That's not what I want. Wait, like, is there a way to create a box in this? In OCaml, which indents like, which in like, yeah, because the box starts before the opening bracket now. It's trying to align it to like the first thing. But anyway, since this over here is an HV box, over here I want to have another box, like the insides of the parentheses need to be indented like this, right? And over here, I guess the box type doesn't really matter. Right? So the insides of the box They were not indented here. Wait, what does the indentation even do? Oh, because the horizontal box doesn't have the indentation. Yeah. Let's just do vertical. Okay. Vertical box with indentation like this. There you go. So now inside of this is correct. How do I do the if then else properly, though? How do I do if then else properly? So we have a horizontal box, or what? Or maybe I have not a horizontal. Maybe this should be like a horizontal or vertical. Or maybe like, let's start with actually vertical box. But the if then should be on its own line. So we make this one horizontal. And then with the else case, together with the else case, should be its own horizontal one. No. Not then together with the else case. That's incorrect. But this one should be its own box, which is indented vertical box. And else case should also be indented vertical box, I guess. This must be here then. Okay. So the problem is that I'm opening the box over here after the then keyword, right? So I'm opening the box on this position. So it's trying to align it to this position, right? Which is incorrect. I just want the indentation to always add indentation to the new line, right? I like sometimes I see how sometimes this is useful, but in this case it's not. Maybe this shouldn't even open a box. Maybe I should just use an existing box that was here. Oh, maybe that's right. Maybe this one over here shouldn't even open a box. Like this doesn't matter. But I'm saying that what I'm saying is that I don't indent the then case. Hold on, I have what if I only have the partial ones, right? Like this over here, I want it to be a horizontal one. The then case is just as is, maybe. And then else should be on this in the same spot as the else. Actually, wait, but then should be over here, right? Then should be over here, and else should be over here. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. Oh my god. So, okay. For camel, box indentation that doesn't, is it, that doesn't, that ignores the original indentation. Is there such a thing? Ignores the original indentation. Solution: use format, open VBox, open HVBox and friends, ignoring source indentation. Ignore input indentation, use box instead. Open VBox FMT2, indent by 2 for each line. Print string FMT. Let x be equal. And then we print the cut. And then I open a VBox 2. Oh wait, I print a cut. Hold on, maybe it's because I don't print a cut, you know? Let's just see what's happening here. Oh my god, this is difficult to think about. So we have an if. We have an if, right? The if is on its own thing. Right. And I'm trying to print if then on its own line, right? Then the then case over here, this value is corresponding to the scoped expression. So that's the parenthesis here, right? So because of that, we print this and then I open that. Okay, that makes sense now, because it's still trying to print it as a horizontal one, because this one is horizontal, so this one should still be a box. But if this one is still a box, if this one is still a box, like over here we have a cut, but the cut doesn't do anything because this is a horizontal box. And it doesn't actually print a new line over here. And I don't want to print a new line here, right? Yeah, and then we continue the horizontal one like this. Wait a second. Oh, we were in a horizontal line like this, but the entire thing, so that the if, hold on. hold on. Maybe I need to do this. If then, like that. Maybe this was what I want. But I need this to be a half box. I have a feeling this is what I want. Okay, this is closer. This is closer. So if true, then we do this. Like, I just want this not to be on a new line, right? I mean, some people like the open parentheses on the new lines. And this is indented. Which is, this is a vertical one. Okay. Yeah, so I just make this to be a half too. Why is this closing bracket in this place? Why is this not on a new line? If I make this to be a V, then it will be on a new line, right? And HOV. It's like still horizontal because like technically it fits. Like, yeah. Wait, but this one should not be a vertical, right? This one is not necessarily vertical, I think. Or is it necessarily vertical? HOV 2. HOV does not work. It has a space here. Yeah, it's a little weird. But I don't always want this to be a V. I want it to be an HV. That's right. HOV fits. Yeah, and I want an HV, not an HOV. There you go. Better. And now in the else case, we have a horizontal else case. I mean, this is not necessarily horizontal. We just make this to be, yeah. We just do that, I guess. All right. Else. Now why is else doing this? If I have an HV here, if true, then open bracket, close bracket, else do this, and then there is a semicolon. This semicolon should be on the same line because this one is horizontal, so that makes sense. But this one and else, I'm just printing the else here, right? So I'm printing this over here, which is the scope, and a scope is an HV, but it has a, like, I guess it's because it actually fits, even though this one is vertical, indented. Can I say an HV here too? Maybe that's what I need. Okay, yeah. So like in this case, because it fitted, it didn't do like the block like that. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. No, it does not make sense because now this over here does not have the break. Wait, why does it not have the break? I don't get it. V. Oh, because I do this only like over here, right? Yeah. Hold on. It's because of the place where when am I printing the breaks? The breaks should be basically after here. Yeah. I'm printing the break in the incorrect place. Formatter. I'm printing the cut only if I see the keyword or value, right? But in this case, I want the cut to be before the another box, right? Because I'm opening two boxes at once, so I want to be there to be a cut here. So do I always then say that I print a cut in between the things always? So do I just say first is false always, then I always print a cut? In the beginning, just do print cut here. That's a little bit too much though. Yeah, that's definitely too much. That's definitely too much. But what is the thing? Print cut is not always like a space, right? Maybe we can have another thing which is representing the cut. Oh, maybe we do that indeed. Yes. So we have open box, close box, but we also should have the cut, right? We also should have the cut. So the cut is automatically there between the keywords. Maybe. Between the parts of the thing. If I have so it's similar to the close box, but it is a cut. So the cut is, instead of this, going to just print the cut and then prints the parts where parts is false, because now we have made the cut, right? Potentially. And so how do I parse the cut? And rule parse over here. Over here, if I have a let's say vertical bar, then we return the cut. So I want the cut over here, right? There we go. This works. This works. Why is the indentation of 1 though? That makes no sense. Is this even indentation? I mean it is, right? So in this case, I don't need the horizontal, right? I can just say... Yeah, I feel like I can just say... Then... If I can do the cuts like this... Let's take a look at it, and an if. So the if, I feel like all of this should just be inside of horizontal... No, hold on. So if condition, then these 3 parts should be inside a horizontal box, right? The condition itself may like split, but that's fine. Maybe. Then then this thing. Wait, what did I have here before? So before, all of this was inside of an HV box, right? Probably like this. Okay, this doesn't look bad. Or was it not like that? Or was it not like that? I feel like this actually should be indented. And this one should be indented. Right? Because this over here needs to be a cut. A vertical cut is just a cut. It's not even a space, right? So now there is like two empty lines here. This is annoying. Maybe I shouldn't use the OCaml's format and just write my own instead. Indentational things. I kind of like these boxes, but they're a little weird. If I have a cut, then I can potentially have 2 cuts. If true, then So like the fact that these three must be in this on the same line, if they fit at least, right? If they don't fit on the same line, this actually should be an HV box, because if the condition is too long, then the condition would be like on its own indented thing, right? But this will only happen if the condition is actually long. Let's see, if I have this example, and if I have true like this. So this is going to, yeah, see, this is actually saying if, and then condition is indented like that. Okay. All right. So the condition is in its own thing, yeah. Or maybe we just, yeah, and then I have another HV, which is oh wait, hold on. What if I have HV together with the N? And then imagine splitting by this, by the brackets, if you wrap conditions. On else is going to be in its own indented thing. Then it's needs to be in this. This needs to be that, and then we have another HV probably of this or something. Does this make sense? Maybe I don't need the cut. Hold on. Hold on a second. Why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult? So what did I say here? What did I say here? I'm saying that, yeah, it's not low. It's not anymore like very easy to see the definition of the syntax because of all of this formatting stuff. If A or B and C or D. Well, I mean, this is a separate expression, so like every expression would either split or not, kind of thing, right? I mean, I mean, we can add it. We can add it. We can add it. What should be the priority of the thing though? Like we can have end of let's have apply 10. Pipe is going to be like let's actually do even more. Apply 50. This 20. End is 10. Which is you know, underscore. I don't like using the end to end. I will just say end. Underscore and underscore. We can have or, which is actually lower priority, right? Supposed to be. Then the end. So this is the or. So in this example, we can say if A or B and C or D, basically. That's what you said, right? That works, but so it yeah. We can restart the cast language server so that it actually highlights these new keywords that I just defined. All right. Yeah, this doesn't look correct, right? Why is formatting so difficult? Formatting is like 10 times more difficult than highlighting. Maybe I need to think about it more. Like, or maybe it's because like I'm using these boxes from OCaml, which like are like I'm going in the wrong direction trying to use them. But yeah, we have this like that. So this over here. Yeah, so we have this and that. So so yeah, how should A and B be formatted? How should A or B be formatted, right? Right now it's just using the same rules as the outside thing, but we can make it be like, yeah, you know, this is difficult. How? I have a let's just make this like be a vertical box too, always. So this will format then as it being a vertical stuff, right? But I don't want this to be a vertical. If I make this to be horizontal, the end, then it's me making like the first thing, then it's printing end, and then it starts this new box afterwards. And this is like its own block, which makes it annoying. It kind of does make sense though. I feel like I don't want the boxes. I just want to increase the indentation is the thing. Right? The boxes. Like I don't get it. Like I asked ChatGPT. I want the box printing that ignores the original indentation. Right? So this is what it prints. Is this correct? Is this correct? Let me try making a new playground. Binary? How do you do this? Executable. Playground. Name. Okay, so let's just have a main like this. And then I just put this code there, right? That ChatGPT told me. Tune exec playground, right? So this is what it prints, this code. Hello, Devin's dev. This is what it prints. So what do we do? I'm opening a VBox here. So which indents by 2 for each line. But it indents by 2 for each line, which is a new line, right? So the box is opened in the very beginning, right? But only the new lines are being indented. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. I think I understand then, right? So what we need to do is not this. Is not this. We need to open a, so for the parentheses to work, this needs to be basically an HV box, but I close it after the parentheses, before the closing parentheses, because these should be indented and this not, and this is like an entire thing should be indented. Is that correct? Maybe. Let's try this again. Let's try this again from scratch for the if then else. If condition, then else. Okay. Let me remove all of the boxes everywhere. Or in most places, I guess. Let's remove it everywhere, actually. Let's start from scratch. I want to try to understand what is needed. But yeah, I think for the parentheses, this is exactly what needs to be done. Oh, but yeah, and originally I was in a vertical box, so it all is like this. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. Now we have HV. Any. That. So over here, you see how what it did? I'm making a box. After the box, I close the parentheses, right? And this closing parenthesis parents is always on its own line. Why? If I have an HV box, I close it. This entire thing is fitting on a line. Shouldn't there be no new line at all? Shouldn't there be no new line at all? Oh, I understand. It's because I am okay. Hold on. The FMT. Let me try the formatter. The formatter. It's just printing right now everything using the vertical stuff. Let's make it print the horizontal thing by default. There you go. So this over here became a box. And the insides were indented. The box was closed. And then after that, I continue the original horizontal thing. Which is correct. That's not the behavior that I want. Because so the whole thing is a horizontal box. Over here, I start a vertical box with indentation of 2. So everything is indented to the 2, like compared to the beginning of this box, right? So this is it. And then in the end, over here, I close the box. And I continue the horizontal one. So I continue printing without adding a new line, right? But in this case, what I actually want is after I exit the indented part, I want this to be on a new line. How do I make that work? So if I was just printing a thing in a playground, right? I would open a vertical box with the thing of 2, which is indenting by 2 for each line, right? Yeah, and then we print cut. Print cut is basically printing the new line if it's needed. For and 1 to 10 2. How do you do a for in OCaml again? Camel for loop. For variable is start to end, yes. Yes. So yeah, I just do this thing 10 times. If you print a new line is not necessary, right? And done. Do done. Semicolon. I just printed 10 times like this. And it looks completely wrong now. Wait, what? Oh, because I closed the this box. And to close the box here. Can I have the formatter keep the trailing commas? Yeah. So I open the box, then I want to pretty print the string, which is like an opening bracket, right? And then I want to print the closing bracket. In this case, it closes the bracket. I mean, sometimes actually this is what we want. Wait, sometimes this is exactly what I want, right? It depends actually. Maybe. Does it depend? Anyway, I want to have the behavior where this is printed on. Yeah, so I have this and that, right? pp print string, and then I want to pp print cut, right? So this is going to open and then do the indentation. In the end, when this block is closed, oh wait, hold on, maybe we do pp print cut empty before closing the box. What's going to happen? No, this is going to happen, which is incorrect. I want this to be not indented, which means that it must be outside of the box. Right? So we need to cut afterwards. Oh wait, hold on. This is actually exactly correct. Behavior. This is exactly what I want it to be. But if I say pp open hbox fmt, and then I say pp close box fmt, then it's going to be still on the same line because this one is a horizontal one. Okay, what is the default box? What is the default box? What's the default box? What's the default box? Default box is an HV box. All right. So by default, we do an HV box with indentation of 0, I guess, right? Yeah, there we go. So we have this thing. Okay, nice. I got it. All right. So we have an HV box with indentation here. But then outside, I have an HV box without indentation. And then, yeah, and then I have the correct thing that I wanted. Okay, good. Good. Now, I want to have this thing here. If condition, then. Right? I want this to be an HV box. Which is going to be... No, hold on. I want an HV box like this. But then if condition going to be another HV box, which is going to be indented, which means that I'm going to indent the condition if it's on the line, right? Let's do the simple one. Hold on. This with the semicolon, right? That's the simple one. Wait, is it? So the first two things must be in a horizontal box. The outer thing should be in a vertical box, and no indentation is happening. This thing is a horizontal box, right? Okay, so we have if this then, Then that. Okay, so now the then case. The then case. This is an HV without indentation. But this one should be with indentation. So maybe I extend this block over here. But then I make this to be an HV block, which is indented. No. Why not? Why not is because... Oh, wait a second. I think I understand my kind of problem with the formatter. Like, I feel like if I open the box, then I should do the cut here. Then I do print cut. But not on the closing of the box, right? Print cut and first is false. No, first is true then. Because I basically start a new thing. Okay, I have made something. Why is the then on its own line? Over there. Because I have an HV box. So we have an if. Like, what's the correct way to do this anyway? I feel like I can just... let's just do this. So it is an HV box. Either everything is on the same line or we have the thing. Right? So just everything. Just everything is an HV box like this. Right? Okay. So, but now I want to have the indentation for the condition. So this over here is the condition, right? I want to have indentation for the condition. So I make this to be indented. Like that. Wait a second. What? Is this actually exactly what I want? Just make everything to be in an indented HV? I just need to I need to understand how this works. But is this what I want? It almost is what I want. I think this should be over here. No, it should not be over there. Fuck. I don't know. I don't know. The rule is let's do it in the playground with that like hard coding, right? I'm always going to print the std formatter instead of pp. We just do that, right? And we don't need the fmt anymore. There we go, so that it's easier. What I want is to print this code, right? Yeah. Let's just say this. Condition. The condition that I'm printing is this, right? I just print string, which is you know, A or B, and C or D. That's what I print. Like for now, this is good enough. Then we have the then case, right? Which is which is, let's just say that we say print true, and we do this 10 times, right? For this in 1, 2, 5, 5 times. Right? And then we have the else case, which is, let's also let's just, for the else case, do it 1 time. Right? So I open an HV box, I open a V box or something. Yeah, I have like an if. So I print string if, then I have a cut, which is print space actually, and then we print the condition. I just have an HV box and that's it. So print if space condition, then case. I mean, we do print string then, right? Then we print the then case. Then I print string else. Then I print the else case. And then it's the end, right? So like that's what I'm printing. This is right now printing everything like this. I need some cuts somewhere, right? So the question is, where do I print the space? The printing of the space should happen after the then here, after the else, right? It should happen over here. This is I or something. If I 0 to 0. If I is not 0, then print space. So like in between the print trues, we print the space. This over here does not need that. So like after the condition, before this thing, we also print space. Right? After the then case, before this, we also print space. Right? So everything is kind of on its own line. And then I want to open the box with the indentation 2. But this is going to indent basically everything except for the first line, right? That's not the behavior that I want. So I'm opening the HV box with indentation of 0. But for the if and condition and for the if and the condition, I'm going to open the HV box with indentation 2, which I close before the then keyword, right? So if this is entire thing is on its own line now, right? Now now when I have the then, we also open HV box with indentation 2, and then I close this box right before the else close box, right? Okay, and this is not correct anymore, right? This is not correct anymore. Because what I want instead, I kind of want then to be here, but then I want the prints. So I open the box after the then keyword, right? Not before it, like this. But then, but also after I have printed the space is important part of it, right? There you go. Is it like kind of fitting in a line? Can I say the line? Can I say what's the amount, like what's the size of a line? Margin? Set margin. Set margin 10. There you go. So in this case, even this was yeah, if I say 20, if I say 40, okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, we can control a little bit here. Okay. So now, like, how do I get the behavior that I want? I just don't get it. A little bit. This over here, the first line is its own, but I want it to be already outputted. Like, I feel like I didn't do it correctly in my like pretty printing things, because I did a custom like cut which added to the indentation. You know, like when I'm pretty printing the this thing, like cast parse, right? Like this is pretty printed properly, right? The way I did this is that over here I made a cut, which like I like all of my boxes actually don't have indentation, but indentation happens on the cuts. If I break the line, only then I add another indentation here. But maybe that's like, maybe that is the way in OCaml, I don't know. Feels like the incorrect thing to do though. So basically I always open the boxes with indentation of 0. But indentation is a thing which happens like when I like print space. So if the space needs to be broken into multiple lines, then that thing is going to be indented. Yeah. That's the way I did it. Like, just think about just a simple like not even this. Let's just open an HV box with indentation 0, close box, right? And then I say that that I print string on opening like let's say that we want to print a list, right? We want to print a list, so we print string like this twice, right? Print and line. What's the tag? Print print new line. So so I open the box, I print string like this, and then I do for this in a 10 to not in is 0 to 10 to print string low, right? So what needs to happen, right? We need to have the cuts. So we say over here print space, right? And we say over here print space. What is this going to do? It's going to print everything on its own line, but I want this to be indented, right? So what we say is, instead of printing space, I'm saying print custom break and the std formatter, which says that if it fits, then, so this takes three things: the tag, int, and tag. What we print before the space, right? Which is going to be like nothing. And then how many spaces do I want? Which is 1. And then what's after? Also nothing. You know? And I would say breaks. Then we'd do the same thing. And if it breaks, then we say this. Indentation of 2, and then that. So what this is going to do, I don't need to print the space anymore. It's going to actually do the indentation here for me, right? That's how I made my pretty printing before. And then we also can say that, yeah, we do this. So I only print this if, no. Like, yeah, I only like print the breaks in between. So if I is not 0, then we do that, right? And this is basically a comma. So a comma with a space, and breaks is also a comma on the first line, and then on the second line, nothing, right? So this has the commas in between everything. Then we also print the break over here, like that. This one just doesn't have the comma. So this one has the commas in between. Okay. I can do that then. I can do that. I can do that. Yeah, I don't know. I cannot figure out the boxes. Let's keep and or. But other than that, I'm going to discard this file. Oh, wait, but the... Yeah, no. The priorities. Okay, so I delete all of the boxes again from here. I delete all of the boxes again from here. Everything is being printed on this on a single line now. All right. So we instead, what I do is I'm changing the print space thing, right? So print space or print cut is what I called it, right? It was printing a space, but now I will want to pp print custom break fmt. So if it fits, then we will print nothing. Nothing is nothing, one space and nothing. If it breaks, then we will print nothing, two indentation and nothing, and nothing like this. So we always indent like this, right? But that's not what I always want. So once again, I'm going to make, most importantly, the then is going to be always a vertical box. But these two things must be on the same line, so we make it a horizontal one. But now, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. Oh my god. I should just abandon the OCaml way. I'll try a little bit more, and then I will just stop. Like, maybe this is not the thing that should be making a box. The vertical box maybe should not be made here, right? It's just that these two must be horizontal, right? It's just that these two must be horizontal, so that I have this thing at the end after printing that stuff, right? That's what I want. When I say use this dot star, maybe I want that entire thing to also be horizontal, right? Like, that's totally fine. But maybe outside, I am actually in a vertical box after all. So let's try that in the formatter. Once again, I'm going to make it to be a vertical box, or maybe an HV box, which is like the default thing, right? And then I just say format pp print space after all. So just a space. So we have use std star on its own line, and then on the other line we have the if then else, right? The entirety of the if then else. Like this makes sense, right? This makes sense. What if I have just a scope? Let's have another example. Let's just have a scope, you know? Like if I add parentheses over here around the entire if then else, then what do I want to happen? What do I want to happen then? I want this to be printed as something like that. Right? I want to open parentheses and then print everything inside as an indented stuff, right? So make this entire thing to be an HV box, and then the thing inside should be indented HV box. Is this correct? This looks correct. Yes, okay. So I think this is actually done properly. Now there is an if then else. The hardest part of it. The hardest part of it. So we have an if then else. We are assuming I mean, should I even assume? Maybe I should not actually assume that I'm inside of an HV box, right? Like, what if I add another thing? FMT print high semicolon. What's going to happen? It prints it on its own line, right? But that's just because I am outside. But what if I do... What if I do the entire thing? Print yo. Print high, print yo. No, this looks correct. Why? It's because I'm outside on the HV box though, right? Oh, no, it's because this one is right associative. That's why. That's the reason. Like, can I make it be inside of a not HV? Maybe it's fine. Okay. So we have an if. We have an if. I am on right now in an HV box. First, I want to print the if then, right? I want to print an if and a then. I want to print an if and a then. I want to print an if. And I want to print a then. So we make all of these to be in a box, which is an HV box, right? It all fits. So it decides to print it on a single line. But if it didn't fit, like because I was already in an HV box, it would not give me the indentation, right? So I'm already in an HV box. Can I just make this to be an HV box, but an indented one? Is it going to just indent me the condition? Kind of. Not really. That's not what happened. Because over here, it didn't... Yeah. So like before me opening this box, I needed to have a cut. So this... Yeah. I think that's a bug, right? So when I see an open box, I should print a cut. First is true, right? Like I have printed a cut there. Why did it not do a new line? The outside thing is an HV box, right? I'm inside of the of this thing, which is HV. So this over here should have printed a cut. And if it printed a cut, then why is there no new line after if before the actual condition? Why? Because I have a bug, correct? What if I make this a V just to make sure? Then it still is not correct. Yeah. This still is not correct. Why? Why? This works because I made it a vertical one. And what is the difference between a V and an HV? The indentation here is of 4 instead of 2, which is also a bug. Somehow. Let's make the example simpler. I just have only the if here. like that. But I mean, it's literally the same stuff, right? By default, I'm inside of an HV box. Let's make it a V box. It doesn't matter in this case. So then we see the if. I have the indented HV condition. Because it's horizontal. Oh, I don't understand. So because it fits, like, let me just have a cut here explicitly, right? There is a cut. And then I printed a space. I print a space in a vertical box, which does not result in a new line. Is this a bug in OCaml? Because that's literally against the documentation, right? Or is it not? Let's go back to the playground. So what I'm doing is I'm opening a VBox and I print string if. And then I print space. And then I print string condition. It prints it on a new line, right? But for me, it doesn't, because I actually, and the reason is, so, but if I remove this box and I have just the condition, then it will print it on a new line, like expected, right? So the problem is when I'm printing space here, and then I'm opening a box, which is an HV box, like this, and I close box after printing the condition. You know, because the condition is its own box. This works as expected. So this means that I have a bug actually. Oh wait, maybe I was just looking at the code and I think I understand. I open box, then I print the cut. It should be in the opposite, in the other order. Okay. My God. Okay, it should be in the other order. I print the cut and then I open the box. Yes. Now that makes sense. Okay. So maybe I had all the correct rules after all. So the condition, I want this to be an indented HV box, right? Yeah. No, I don't want it to be an indented HV box. I want to be an indented HV box, the if condition. Like this. Right? So I only indent if the if, like the first line, is not being indented here. Like that. If the condition is become vertical, because like I can make the end always be vertical like this, then it says if something and this, right? I think this is good. Right? This is correct. So we have if, we begin the condition, and then every following line we make we make indented. And similarly to that, we combine the then with this, right? In an indented HV box. And similarly to that, we combine the else in an indented HV box here. This must be in the end. So we do this. Okay. Yeah. All right. So now, how do I make sure that this opening parenthesis is on its own. No, I just don't do that. Yeah, I do not do that. I mean, yeah. Yeah, see, like, we have else print false. This over here fits on a line, so we like, we'll have the parenthesis here. So is this all correct? It is not all correct. Why is this being indented? Oh, because of that. Okay. I understand now. I understand now. So I indent this together with that. Okay. But the whole thing is still needs to be an HV1, right? Okay. I feel like I'm on something. I'm onto this thing. It's just like because these parentheses are not part of the if then else expression itself. Like usually in your programming language, like in Rust, for example, right? You have the curly brackets, which are parts of the if then else, which we can make part of the if then else. In fact, but I don't think we should. And if not, then like I indent the entire else case, and the else case contains these parentheses, right? So it's like on a new line like that. Which kind of makes sense, but not really what I want, right? Because this introduces 2 levels of indentation now. So what would be the actual like thing, right? I print then, and I know that my then case cannot fit on on the same line with the then keyword, right? So because of that, we print the then condition with like indented more, but the then case itself is a thing in parentheses which doesn't fit in a line, so we do that. How do I get rid of this behavior without making parentheses parts of the if then else? So what should happen, I guess, is that this should be an HV so this is still an HV, but between the then keyword and this over here, I'm always printing space in between, right? I'm always printing space, which potentially breaks a new line, right? But maybe this space should just be a non-breaking one, and that's why we just print space over here, which tries to print it on the same this thing on the same line. So well, it's not a breaking, it's just a space. But then this guy should not even open the HV box. Otherwise, the indentation is going to be all wrong. We instead use this already opened HVBox. We instead use this already opened HVBox, right? Like I didn't make a box for the entire thing. So maybe the boxes for the entire thing should never be opened. Only for some parts of it. But then still, like, if this is continuing. I think it's impossible. I think I'm trying to do the impossible. Unexpected else? They changed the... Oh, yeah, it is unexpected, right, because the then is no longer a keyword. Because I printed space here. I mean, this is better than nothing, I guess. But it's bad. And so, like, the solution, once again, is to make the parentheses to be part of the if-then-else itself. So we use the parentheses here. Right? They must be like that. And then we make it so that the then together with the opening parentheses is a horizontal box, so we don't have the line break in between, right? And this is on its own line. And then we have the else with parentheses and else and closing parentheses. Which no longer is associative. So for the one that has an else if, I need a different syntax now, but we can make this one its own horizontal box. So what's going to happen? Now it says unexpected semicolon over here. Yeah, because now since these are inside of the parentheses, the if and else may contain any priorities inside. Okay, so then we have this thing. Okay. Now the closing bracket is not part of this block, but is instead part of this block. So we have the closing bracket, else keyword, and another open bracket all on its own line, right? And then we get the conventional if then else like this, right? And this is all I can also make this one always be indented. No. Yes. So like, yeah, my else right now is not indented, right? I don't know. Can I make it somehow so that either both of them are like that, or I mean this kind of makes sense what we see on the screen right now, right? But I feel like if the then case is an indented block, then the else case should also be an indented block. But I cannot specify as such a condition here. Right? Yeah, I cannot. I can just make them always be indented. That's what I can do. And then I see another problem that this indented vertical block should only continue until this, so that the closing bracket is like over there. Yeah, okay. But this means that I always indent the then and the else case, which sometimes we might not want because it fits on its own line. But for now, this is maybe good enough. Okay. Now the question is, can I... Okay. All right. Let's... Okay, there's like this unnecessary space, right? We need to get rid of those, but we're not going to worry about that. Let's try instead to connect this. Like I might remove this functionality. This makes it a little bit unreadable here, right? But how do you make it easier? What about some other language? Like I know that the Lean language has it, right? But I haven't tried it myself. And I always struggle to find it. How does Lean4 custom notation interact with the formatter? The Lean formatter hates you and your dreams of beautiful custom notation, unless you play by its rules. The formatter knows nothing about your custom notation until you tell it, unless you tell it. The format is called based when it's on built-in formatting rules, mostly for core syntax. When it sees your custom notation, it treats it like a black box. It will not magically pre-print it. If your notation expands to something it understands, it formatted expansion. Oh wait, hold on. It formats that expansion after macro expansion, not the original notation. What does that mean? We have an infix notation. So we have an infix operator star with precedence 50. We'll usually format okay if they're simple. Complex or blocky notation, for example, syntax, categories, or multi-line notations are a formatting nightmare. The formatter doesn't track your syntax macro declaration, just shrugs and gives up. So we have a syntax. Name is weird block. My stuff, indent, do. Term, command. Hello, Veldek. The formatter just sees my stuff, ooh, do bar, and it thinks cool. Disabling formatting for custom blocks, skip. Write custom formatter rules. That's not exposed yet. There's hope. Hold on. Unsoundness will set referential indices. Okay, that's okay. You just linked me a random issue. If you make a DSL in Rust and you try to format that, that's not going to work well either. Okay, maybe I just commit this, and then we see how it works. And maybe I will just undo these changes later. Formatter. Let's just instead try to make it work with the LSP so that I can like try to format code live. Right, so the cast LSP is going to depend on the cast FMT. And the cast LSP. All right, LSP formatting API. Define standard ways to communicate. Formatting APIs allow developers to integrate code formatting. Protocol implementation. Protocol specification. Format. Capabilities. So the server can compute or to format. Like, is it part of the capabilities or something? This is client capabilities. This is initialize params, and I should return initialize request. We have initialize result. Has server capabilities. So is there server capabilities? You need help? Should you sell your soul and do Azure certification? No idea what that means. Never used Azure. AI certification? Like a certified AI specialist? Document formatting provider. The server provides a document formatting. It's a Boolean or a document formatting options. Document formatting options extends work done progress options, which is work done progress. Oh, it can report the progress. Is it still formatting or is it not? Or is okay? Sure. Okay. Let's see. So in the LSP, when we have capabilities, method initialize. Okay, something initialize params on request initialize. Do they have the formatting here for me, or do I need to do it myself? So the server capabilities create server capabilities. Modify server capabilities. Yeah, I guess I can try that here. So can I do format? Why is there no auto-completion? This language, I hate this language. I cannot go to definition. It like okay, so this OCaml LSP doesn't like this library apparently. It says like unbound modules or something. I don't know why. Like this library it doesn't like. It liked all the other libraries before that. I have not figured out why it doesn't like this one. So this is that. When you document formatting provider is some document formatting options. Like, it cannot go to definition. This is so annoying. I can hover. It tells me what it is, but I cannot go to the definition. Yeah, it can be true, but like I just want for the future because by default, I guess if it's true, then it assumes that you cannot report the progress. Maybe later I will want to report the progress, right? Document formatting options. Work done progress. Like I even have the auto completion here, which is like interesting. Can I just say false here? Like this. So now we have the formatting. If I now try to do the language server, right? Restart language server, and I try to format document. There is no formatter for cast installed. Do I need to do something in the extension of the VS Code too? I probably need to do something in the extension too, right? Like I did do the semantic highlighting enabled true. And I also need to... You don't think so? But why did it say that it doesn't support? I said the work done progress false. Does that make it... Do I need to set to change something in a package JSON of a VS Code extension to make the formatting through LSP work? Yes. You must declare document formatting provider in your package JSON. Register your formatting capability in package JSON under activation events. Contributes. You need this or formatting will not trigger. Contributes languages, ID, extensions. But this is what I already did, right? So we return capabilities. We're a document formatting provider. Okay, let's try true there, right? Instead. I mean, the language server works, but I have the syntax highlighting. Format doesn't work. Oh, wait, it failed. Go to output. Hold on. No, it works. But it failed. Because it says that request failed to handle this request. Right. So in the language server, do we have here format text document formatting? Is this the request that I need to handle, text document formatting? So it's just not handled here. Okay. Respond with an array of text editor null. So here's the good part about this library that I use though is even although it breaks the autocompletion and like the LSP doesn't like it. So you know Camel, they have this feature that is called generalized algebraic data type. And because of that, I actually know the type that I should respond with already. Like, there is no feature like that in Rust. Why am I making the programming language to prove the haters wrong? Just for fun, I guess, but also because all of the languages suck, so we need to make one that doesn't, you know? This is already the third rewrite that I'm doing. The language, there was a lot of features that were working. This time I'm starting from scratch. I'm doing the parsing, and I'm starting with the LSP immediately. So I already have the syntax highlighting. Now I want to add the formatting. So like I only did the parsing so far in this rewrite. But before that, we had a lot of things. Did higher low level. So the idea is to be both levels, is to be all levels, all right? It's not an or question. You can be both. In the previous, like the furthest that I got so far, I would say that I basically had only the high level features, but like I have enough information to do the compilation to the native targets and like give you access to the low level details. I don't think there is a problem with that. High level features with low level details. Do you do sync in memory source a file based on edits? Yeah, there is like this thing where I have a hash table from the document URI to the thing. So like every time you edit a thing, I process and I save the state after processing in a hash table. For every document. Right now I right now like I treat every document as a standalone file basically. Okay, so if the request is format a document full params, is that what I want? Is that a thing? This variant is expected to have, there's no constructor. Okay, what was it called again? I hate it. It's a client request. Text document, range formatting. I don't want range formatting, right? I don't want to support the range formatting, just formatting. Text document formatting. So yeah, once again, I was like saying about this. We have the in OCaml the feature that's called generalized algebraic data types. So this is an enum, but this enum specifies what should be the response to this request. So the request has this data, and the response should be text edit list optional, right? So that's what you said. You respond with array of text edits or null, but it's already here in the types. I already know it. Is the syntax good? The syntax is extensible in my language. And that makes the formatting a little bit difficult. And to figure out how to make the custom syntax and how do I specify the formatting rules for the custom syntax. So the idea is that there is no built-in syntax in the language except for the syntax for building new syntax. So every syntax is custom. But some of these syntax can correspond to something that the compiler understands, and some of that will be implemented through the macros. But you can completely change the syntax if you really want. Text. Formatting. Text document formatting. Okay, so this over here is the document formatting params. I'm going to just do this. I'm going to make a new method on text on format on format. So now I have a method which is called on format. So this one has the formatting text formatting document formatting params. And we return text edit list option. Right? Does it type check? Looks like it type checks. Okay, so now we have the params. These params inside is options, formatting options, text document, work done token. Wait, what is this work done token? Okay, can I see the documentation for it? The document formatting params. Document formatting params has options and text document. I also had the work done token, which is not specified here at all. What's the options? I cannot go to the definition because this language is LSP. So the params, okay. We can do this. We got format request. We have params, text document, query. So I can have the current state of this thing. Wait, what is the edit? Can I just have a single edit which replaces the whole file? Is that not what I'm supposed to do? Probably not, right? The text edit is new text, which is string and in a range. Yes, yes, yes. That makes sense. So for now, just for simplicity, I can just do the full edit, which is going to be like the range, which is the full file. Right? Like if this is parsed successfully. Oh, but yeah, okay, but it could be parsed not successfully. Okay. Some result. So I need to have expression of type A. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Text edit list. So I want to have like a single edit. LSP types text edit. T. Right? I mean, let's just say that new contents is hello. Let's just try this. I will replace everything with a hello, okay? So then I want to say that result is some list where I have the single text edit, right? Where I have range like that. The type inference in this language is very bad, by the way. Like I need to annotate it all the times. Next edit T. This needs to be inside of these parentheses. So we have new text and range. New text is hello, and range needs to be a range. What's the range? Like, why can I? Oh wait, no, I can. It's start position and an end position. Can I make like the full? Like, I need to know the end line, right? But maybe we can just fake it. Can we just fake it and say that start is so the position is just line and column? Overshoot and line by 1. Like, I already did the overshooting in the highlighting. I'm pretty sure that I can start at 0 and column be 0. And I can make the end underscore, of course, to be it's not is it just call a character. I can just say a billion and a billion. I mean, in this case it doesn't matter. End line +1. Yeah, sure, but I can just do a billion, I'm pretty sure. That's like, no one is going to make a file with a billion lines, right? That's just 10 million. That's a billion now. Who knows how trash editor implementation is? I did the same thing on the highlighting, like I said already. Yeah, we just do linear return result like this. Okay, let's try go to the example KS. I'm going to restart language server. Oh, we crashed 5 times. Okay, go, nice. Cast restart. Replied with semantic tokens. Okay, good. Hi. Okay, like if it fails to parse, then I need to restart it like this. Okay, but if I restart it like this and then I say format, then it replaces everything with hello. Okay. Respond with null. Yeah. Like I need to not crash when I fail to parse, of course. Okay, but this works. This works. I just need to figure out the new text, and the new text is cast fmt. So I need to have a function here, format. I need to format the parser result. Needs to be formatted into a new string. Is a function. Yeah. It's a function this into format. I think I can have the formatter here so it knows where to write it. We have fmt and this, and I do fprint fprintf fmt this. So then it doesn't return the string, it actually returns unit because I'm printing like this. So now I just parse the source and then I format, in this case, into the std, into the format std formatter. And I also need to print the new line, right? So just println that in the normal FMT thing. So like this. Unbound rule set. Oh, all right. I need the rule set here. I'm going to get rid of it later. To do not necessarily. Okay, so this still works, and then in the language server, I just use the cast FMT format into this string formatter. The parsed, right? So I just say that this is, or yeah, this is just parsed stuff. New text is unit. It's not unit. And to do this, and then I do format flash string formatter. And that's my new text. Okay. I think that's it, right? I have 1,000 problems, but that's not in my code. My code actually works. Okay. So we go here. I restart the language server. Okay. Still crash 5 times. Okay. I need to. Okay, I should fix the crashing, but yeah. So if I say Control S here, then it formats the code for me. There we go. It actually did it. So this is unformatted code. This is formatted code. Okay, like, and I just need to fix the formatter, right? So it crashes because like unexpected punctuation. Yeah, that makes sense. So how do I do that? Format with LSP. How do I? The only good thing Microsoft done is LSP. How about VS Code itself? There were other things that I remember. VS Code is a spy tool. So what? It's a good thing. Just if you ignore that it's a spy tool, right? How do you know that LSP is not a spy tool? Because LSP is a protocol. It's not even a tool. It's like saying that JSON is a spy tool. Or a REST API is a spy tool. So if I say in the LSP, if I have the semantic tokens, no, not semantic tokens. So I have the document, right? And yeah, so I'm trying to new state. Yeah, so I need to. So over here, when I'm processing the input file, the state after processing is that it's parsed, right? But it's not always parsed. This potentially results in an exception, right? So I need this to be like in a try catch. So we need a try with parser error, then so like it's parser result, but it's an optional. I guess for now. Later I could also do the diagnostics where exactly the error is. But for now I'm just going to say this. Let result be that in some result. And if in case of an error, we just say none. Or Lexer error. I cannot handle all of the exceptions. I mean, actually, hold on. I can handle all of the exceptions, right? We just do this. Like, any exception happens, we just do none. So now parsed is not always there, because it's not necessarily parsed. So what can I do? Can I do let star parsed be parsed? Does this work? This expression has type A option, but expression was accepted of a list option LWT. Like, I want to return none here, right? Okay. Maybe let's start. Maybe let's plus. That's a different one. I need to like more like open IO. Right? This is over here. We have a let plus and let star. Which is this. Okay, scary things. Maybe one of these works with the options, but probably not actually. That's the loot operator. Hello, Raymarch. I know nothing. Okay, let's try the simple code without the let stars, because I don't know, I feel like they are annoying. We're just going to match parsed with none, then I just return none, and if it's some parsed, then we do the other things. Like that, you know? And not none, because this is a null stuff. I need to return none, right? I'm already inside of a monad here. Make it 2 billion with no cakes, likes his big files. But is it a billion yet? I feel like he's far away from billions. Still. Let. No, not let. Match. Parsed with none. LWT. Linol LWT. Return. None. And then sum this. And we do that. Okay, there we go. So basically, I don't do anything if the file is not parsed correctly. I don't highlight. Right? And I don't do that stuff. Reach start language server. Oop. Does this work? If I do a semicolon here. Yeah, see, like, so we just get rid of the syntax highlighting. There is no highlighting if the thing is not parsed correctly. Okay. Maybe we should like have partial parsing or something so that the syntax highlighting doesn't completely disappear, right? But yeah, this works. And then we hit Control S and we have the formatter. Okay. And then the formatter just needs to be improved. So I can format. There you go. What if I format hello world? Then it's going to be this. Right. Yeah. We need to get rid of some spaces and maybe some other problems. And I'm not sure that I like the fact that I made the parentheses to be part of the if then else syntax. I don't like that. But I don't know the other solution here. What if I do another if then, right? So like if true, then nothing. Then, so I need to do this inside parentheses now, because otherwise it's not going to parse. Else, and we do like all of these parentheses, right? So yeah, there we go. So yeah, I mean, this looks like it's correctly formatting itself, right? With the nested ifs. If scope is expression, it should decide to wrap itself. So the problem with that, let me just show you. If I do this, not this. If I do over here, I have this default syntax, right? Rules. Okay, this is a little ugly right now because of all of these formatting things. Let's simplify this back. So I have if condition, then let's just, I can just write it from scratch. If condition, then case, else case, and this is right associative, right? That's how it's supposed to be. So I will comment this out with a hashtag. This is not Haskell. This is text, plain text. Maybe I could have the syntax highlighting for these rule files. Boom. Yeah, so like if I do this, then I still wanted to do like that, right? HV HV, like how do I define the formatting rules for these expressions is the question, right? If I make this scope to be its own expression, which it is, right? So let's try this. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Cast FMT, right? So what's going to happen is that it puts, so like basically what I said here, right? What does this mean? The opening bracket more than HV, right? This is an HV box, which means that it's going to be all horizontal if it fits. But if it doesn't fit, then it's going to be a vertical thing with indented lines, right? So it indents everything after else. I mean, in this case specifically, else branch fits on the line, so this one is not indented, right? But the then case doesn't fit, so it indents this. So it indents the entire like case, the entire then case, and the entire then case is a scope expression, right? So the entire scope expression is being indented, and then the scope expression is formatted separately. So it puts the opening bracket, closing bracket, and then the indented things inside, right? How do I make it? Well, like, how do I specify even the rule that says, why is there a new line after then? Because, like, this is not necessarily a scope expression, right? This is not necessarily a scope expression. There can be any expression there. Any expression can hold, can be multiple lines, right? So what I want is what? Like, yeah, like, what do I want here? That's the question. What do I want here? Maybe I actually want this. Hold on. Hold on. Let me do that, and committed. But then we go back, and I will try playing with this a little bit more. Maybe I can just do this. Maybe I can just do this. This is an indented HV. I think I cannot do that though. Then I need like this splitter too. Like how to describe the rules is the question here. If they are separate ones. I've been playing with this earlier, and I couldn't figure it out without like having the parenthesis part of the syntax of the if. HV then. That makes sense. Indented HV. Yes, that does make sense. So why is it now on its own line? Because we have that now. Yeah. Yeah, like see the problem. Yeah, like so I just say that the then case should be indented, right? Like if these two, if then keyword plus the body of the then case, if they don't fit on a line, then I want it to be indented, right? So it indents the then body, which includes the bracket, right? In your C like syntax, it just works, not much combination specific rules. But just like, how do you define the rule though? Like, how do you do the formatting then? You just say when to indent and when to unindent. Probably, right? Like, but it also, like, I want it to depend if it fits or not. We can always make it so that like, so that it always like does the new lines, for example. But that's not what we always want, right? It should depend whether it fits or not. In certain cases. Like, if I cannot have the rule which says indent the then case if it doesn't fit on the same line with the then keyword, right? But what should I say then? What should I say? It's just code. If space format expression. I mean, that's what I do too. So I print if, and then I print the space, and this space is going to be it is going to be converted into a new line. In this case, because I said HV, if these two things don't fit on the same line, then it's going to make this a new line, and it's also going to indent this. This is what the more than means, and HV means that it has like, it's going to decide, right? The H over here for the semicolon, for example, right? This means that it's this space over here is not going to be a new line. This is going to just continue on the same line as the expression. So the semicolon is on the same line as the expression before it, right? So like, that's the rules that I have here. These spaces are kind of like implicit. And yeah, that's why I have like these spaces over here too. Before the semicolon. For now. Like, isn't the scope expression the only one that's like you say if space format expression? What about, and then you do the same with the then, right? So you just say then and then space and then format this. That's what I'm saying here too, right? But is all of that inside of the same block then? Kind of, right? Maybe I should just... Like, I'm also trying to use the OCaml box functionality right now, which is a little weird. We'll put extra space after opening bracket. Oh, this extra space here, it's this vertical bar, which don't worry about this. That's why the new line here is also there. This is basically an explicit space right now, the vertical bar. So a space is sometimes a space and sometimes a new line, depending on if the things fit in the same line or not. There should be like something else maybe. Like if I just say that the entire if then else thing is just this, right? So I just make it be printed as is, right? What's going to happen then? Then this is going to happen. Because it is, because I'm inside of the vertical box originally. If I make this to be the entire thing, to be like a V box for a horizontal one, so we try writing everything on the same line, then this happens. You have forced the blocks after if, so it simplifies. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like so if I make this part of the thing, if I make the block part of the if then else, like in Rust, it does simplify the situation indeed. And then they wrap naturally, yes. Because it is part of the if then else syntax, right? The scopes. And it's not a standalone scope syntax. This long line will be much appreciated. Yeah. But this one makes it possible to write an if then else. If you do the blocks, would be fine to have enforced scope explosion, or you do not want that. So like this one over here is right associative. If you have the scopes as part of the if statement, then you need to have special treatment for the else if, you know. Because this one can parse an else if and the other one cannot. Because inside of an else cannot be an if, because there must be a scope, right? So we have a different syntax for the else if. Could you split the rules more to maybe simplify it, like in separate parts? Well, if that's what we do by not including the parentheses in the if then else, right? But then the formatting issue appears. Split the rules to simplify it for the if syntax. What do you mean? Like there's three keywords here, right? If then else. What do we get rid of it to split it? We just have an if then. Like how do you split an if then else? How do you split a ternary operator into two binary operators? And I guess like it's not only like if then else. Like imagine if your language had let's skip this one. Let's have ternary operator, right? Which is going to be like some priority to for example, right? So we have a condition question mark then case and then colon else case, right? We can do that. We can do that. How do I want to format this thing? Right? How do I want to format this thing? I feel like I want this to kind of be on the same line. So I would do an H here, and I would do an H here, and this entire thing would be like an HV, maybe. So let's see. So if I have B colon C, right? So this works. This works. This is being formatted properly, right? And then if over here I have like A B C D, and then do this like 10 times like this, then this is going to happen, which is a little bit wrong. Like it does split it into these lines. Yeah, it's like wrong. Question mark should stay on the same line. Should it? You think you prefer that? I think I would prefer it to be on the new line, because right before, on the same line as the then case. No. I mean that's like at that point we just have the preferences, I guess. That's what we wanted, right? Yes. I mean, this kind of like makes sense. The only problem is that it has one more indentation that actually needed, right? So like it was supposed to be like this instead. Okay, this fit, like you see, like this fits on this line. Yeah. I feel like these semicolons should always be vertical though. Isn't that what I already did before? Semicolons should always be vertical if I have them. Is this not correct syntax anymore? Did I break something? No, I didn't break it. It's a little weird though. I think I need to not use the OCaml's formatting boxes, because they're not supporting the thing the way I want to format my code actually. But I still think we would still need the annotations like that. It would be still similar. Why does this not work on the language server? Format. There is no formatter installed. But this is, wait, hold on, but the cast language server. Format. Reload. Why is that happening? Why is it saying that there is no formatter installed? And now there is. I just reloaded the window. I was restarting the language server. Maybe I don't restart it properly. In my extension code, I just say, like, with the TypeScript, like, client restart. That's all that I did there. It's a little weird. Okay. Anyway, I think I'm going to be done playing with it for today. I'll think more about it. Throw out the boxes. Well, I mean, there still needs to be some but what do we keep? Like how does it know that the semicolon must be on the same line and not on the new line, right? For some syntaxes, we want the keyword that's after the expression to be on its own. Like think about it like this. If I have like a semicolon b, right? Then I want this to be on its own line and b on the second line, right? But at the same time, if I have a plus b, right, then usually I think I would want to have the plus on the other side, like at least with the dot, like, you know, if you say a dot b, which is very similar to a semicolon b, right? Then we have this. What's the difference? Well, I mean, actually, you know what? Maybe the difference is the associativity, and because of the associativity, we do the one here or there. What is the other right associative operator? Well, I guess the arrow, a into b, for example, is another right associative, right? So this would be also a into b like that. But I don't know, maybe for the arrows, I would actually want the arrow to be on its own line. I don't know. Like, you see, there is a question like that. That's why I group them in a box with a semicolon together, saying that they should be on the same line. How do I make it without the boxes? But it's not really a box. What I want is a little bit different than the box concept from the OCaml's library. But something similar. Or maybe it depends on the space. If I have space after, that means that I want the thing after. But at the same time, not really, because if I have a plus b, I don't want the plus to be on its own line, really, right? I want to be either here or there, one or the other. I don't know. I'll just think about it. We have something working, which is good.
It should not do this if we are not inside a level.
See you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.